There was so much hope, so much optimism after the March on Washington. When people left, as Dr. King suggested, we went back home, back to the heart of the Deep South. So many of us went into the state of Mississippi. We went into Alabama. We went to Selma. In Selma, only 2.1% of African Americans were registered to vote. The only time you could even attempt to register to vote was the first and third Mondays of each month. You had to stand in line, get a copy of the so-called literacy test. And hundreds and thousands of people would fail the so-called literacy test. They were told they could not read or write well enough. African American lawyers, doctors, teachers. So we started a series of demonstrations, standing in line at the courthouse. One evening, there was a demonstration for the right to vote. Nearby, Selma. A confrontation occurred, and a young man tried to protect his mother. He was shot in the stomach, and a few days later, he died at the local hospital in Selma. We made a decision to attempt to march from Selma to Montgomery, to dramatize to the nation and to the world that people of color wanted to register to vote. We started walking. I was one of the leaders of that effort. I was wearing a backpack before it became fashionable to wear backpacks. In this backpack, I had 2 books. I thought we were going to be arrested and that we were going to go to jail, so I wanted to have something to read in jail. I wanted to have something to eat in that backpack. I had an apple and I had an orange. Since I thought we were going to be arrested and go to jail, and I'd be in jail with my friends, my colleagues, and neighbors, I wanted to be able to brush my teeth. I had toothpaste and toothbrush. We get to the highest point on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Down below, we saw a sea of blue, Alabama state troopers. And we continued to walk. We came within hearing distance of the state troopers. And a man spoke up and said, "I'm Major John Cloud of the Alabama State Troopers. This is an unlawful march. It would not be allowed to continue. I give you 3 minutes to disperse and return to your homes or to your church." And a young man walking beside me by the name of Jose William from Dr. King's organization said, "Major, give us a moment to kneel and pray." Before we can pass word back for people to kneel and pray, the major said, "Troopers, advance." And you saw these men putting on their gas masks. They came toward us, beating us with nightsticks, tramping us with horses, and releasing the tear gas. Was hit in the head by a state trooper with a nightstick. My legs went from under me. I thought I saw death. I thought I was going to die. I thought it was the last nonviolent protest for me. I don't recall how I made it back across that bridge, across the Alabama River, through the streets of Selma, back to that little church. But I do recall being back at the church. It's full to capacity. More than 2,000 people on outside trying to get in to protest what had happened. And someone asked me to say something, and I stood up and said something like, "I don't understand it. How President Johnson can send troops to Vietnam and cannot send troops to Selma, Alabama to protect people who only desires to register to vote." And the next thing I knew, I'd been admitted to the Good Samaritan Hospital there in Selma, Alabama, with 16 others.
And the people started running. A lot of people were beaten. Dogs were hit. And I just turned around to see the folk and wondered why they were beating them so. And I couldn't understand.
I just don't see how anybody can say that a man can fight in Vietnam, but he can't vote in the post office.
We are here and we are standing before the forces of power in the state of Alabama saying we ain't gonna let nobody turn us around.